Hello and welcome to the Let's Talk Fabulous show. My name is Tamara Hunter and I am this week's host. And yes, we've got a party going. Are you with us? We're keeping this party going. It's been the 4th of July here in the United States, and my expert panelists are ready to party. So, what do you think? Let's talk. I'm so excited to be with all of my friends today. In fact, you know what? I got some fun stuff going on. I'm going to start right now. Nothing like just getting the party going. What do you think, guys? So, with the fireworks in play and all of it, let's go around the room and meet our panelists for today. And what we're going to do is we're going to have you tell us who you are, where you are, and a little bit about you. And we're going to start right now, and I am going to start with Joy.
Well, hi there, Tamara and everyone here. I am Joy Willett. I live right now in Southern California, originally from Canada, and I am a first responder on many levels, physically with our town here where I live as a volunteer first responder, as well as I'm very well trained in the mind arts to help everyone with their mind and their hearts. Pleased to be here, Tamara.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you for being here. We're going to go next to Daniel.
Daniel Faust out of Dover, Delaware, currently a reservist and also a veteran transformation coach that helps you thrive from the prayer room to the boardroom.
I love it. Love it. Brian?
Hey, Tamara, thanks for having me on, and welcome to everybody. Colonel Brian Searcy, retired U.S. Air Force, did 23 years, and right now I've got about 37 years of leadership and training experience. I travel around the United States working with families to take back the responsibility for the safety of their family, and then that's how we also take back the safety of our communities. So excited to be here in North Texas.
Thank you. Thank you. In Texas, don't we have something going on there?
Yeah, so and thanks for bringing that up. Our prayers are out to everybody that's in South Texas with the first hurricane of the season that is getting ready to hit the United States. So all our prayers are with those families. Heather and I have some clients as well as friends down there. So all of our prayers are going out to them as they prepare to deal with this tomorrow.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Skip?
Hello, everybody. I'm Skip Thomas, and also known as Poe, because that's what my grandkids call me. I'm in the north part of Arkansas in the Ozark Mountains. I'm a musician, filmmaker, storyteller mainly, and just thrilled. I've been a part of working with Tamara and team for, many years, maybe 8 years or more. So this is great to have you all part of this, and thank you for all watching.
Wonderful, and thank you. Okay, so what we're going to do with our party today is we've already kind of started to get to know our panelists, but we're going to get to know them a little bit more here soon as we spend our hour together. And I want you guys to all do this. You're going to be partying with us, so get your little streamers or your little party, whatever, get your bells on. There you go. Let's freedom ring. Also, get your tissues ready, because you know what? There might be a little of that needed too. Let's start with our first video.
Welcome to this week's fabulous show. And we are continuing the party of July 4th and Independence Day. So sit back, listen in, and enjoy our conversations about this great nation and us celebrating the principles that it was founded on.
Skip, you mentioned the storyteller. We're starting today with the party idea. Yet, it's not the first show that we've been doing in a series, correct?
Correct. We've done a series of legacy messaging, and a lot of it is, what is it you want to leave behind for others? I mean, why are we here? And we've had several topics and different approaches to it, but it's really leaving it for our kids, leaving it for future generations. The stories, we've talked a lot about how important stories are. And our stories may be the wake of the boat, how we got here. Maybe people don't think they're that important, but they're the stories that created who we are today. And so being able to tell stories, and now for others to inspire others, because your story and what you do with it today is really what's going to create the legacy for those tomorrow, and especially the kids.
I love it. You just wrote a song about kids, didn't you?
Yes, I did. It was inspired by a group. I've been to several events and seen kids in action who are learning the Constitution, learning the values and principles that really is not just tied to America, but global. And it's if we paint a picture of what is the destiny we want to co-create with our kids. I was blessed to be a part of some events, Constitution camps, events with Martin Luther King Day with some of my dear friends at the state capitol here in Arkansas. And as a storyteller, I filmed it, and I thought, I got to write a song. So I wrote a song called Kids Save the USA. And so I produced it and finished it actually this morning with the video.
Yes, you did. As I'm texting this morning. Okay, so without further ado, we love to premiere movie clips and original songs. We're doing that again today, guys. Here we go. The premiere of Kids Save the USA.
Your legacy will live in the hearts you left behind. Let's ask our kid. There's a kid in each of us. And no matter our age, from 1 to 101, our kid is alive and well. And with all the grown-up problems in this world, we're calling on the kids to help save the USA.
Voices be heard, kids save the USA. We are the dreamers, united we stand. We are the plan to build a future hand in hand. So let the world hear what we say.
So let's ask the kids, what would you do?
With hope and dreams will pave the way. Kids save the USA.
Who's going to be my doctor? Oh my goodness. I'm looking at who's going to be a police officer? Who's going to be our governor? Let freedom ring from every state and every city. Thank God Almighty.
And that's what this camp is. It's a miracle that these people have had enough and desire to do something instead of just giving up and saying, oh, we can't do anything. And these kids are brilliant, and I think we're going to see them say things that are going to kind of blow our minds.
I'm going to start a little TV show, and it's going to be for kids too, and it's what would you do if you were president? Everyone has a home. Okay.
I would start the IRS.
Oh, that's a good one. Great. It talks about that in here too. Hold that up.
If I was president, then I would cut off all ties with China.
All right. What would you do if you were president?
I would make sure all the kids are safe.
Make sure all the kids are safe.
Well, children can get it. They can understand things that adults can't understand because they haven't been brainwashed over the years.
If I was president, I would try to get corruption out of the government.
Okay. Be a Christian government, and I'd make sure that I follow God's law.
If I was president, I'd stop our country from becoming a communist country.
Yeah, fantastic.
I would also stop drugs.
You'd also, oh, good.
Make the world fair. Fantastic.
I'd make kids in charge of grown-ups.
You'd make kids in charge of grown-ups. Okay, I don't know if any grown-ups would vote for that. But what?
Pet lizard.
You'd have a pet lizard. Okay, that's a good starting point at something. You guys have been fantastic. Give yourselves a great big round of applause.
Oh my goodness. Oh my God. I'm looking at you. Do everything in your power. You can fulfill your dreams. Okay? You can be whatever you want.
When the world is feeling down, we will turn it all around. With a smile and with a song, we will carry on. Kids save
looking at it saluting me. Look at it saluting yourselves. You know, hey, I'm just a flag, a symbol. You're the people. If I may say so from here, long may you wave.
Kids Save the USA. What'd you guys think?
Wow. Yeah.
I'd love to hear from our panel right now and you in the audience. You know, I love this. First of all, can I just say, when I first saw you do that, you know, first saw it when it was first submitted, and I'm looking at it and I'm like, okay, make kids in charge of grown-ups. I love that one. And then, you know, pet lizard. And then, you know, and then Lloyd Brunson says, good starting point. Like I love that, you know, like, okay, you know, like each, I don't know if he was like, every family should have a pet lizard, but, you know, I loved it. What, anybody have anything you'd like to add to this right now?
Well, that was super encouraging. I say all the time that really what's going on in our country is the extremes. And I think that the majority of Americans truly are proud of our country. I think that they're doing right by their kids. And I think what this video shows is those kids really understand it. And we have an opportunity now as the adults to make sure that they grow up continuing in that vein, and they don't get corrupted. They don't get brainwashed with other things that are going on. Let's keep it true. Let's really allow them the opportunity to really grow so that they can save the USA. I thought it was amazing.
I love it. I love it. And you know, and one thing I want to bring up from our studio audience, Teresa Snyder, lover. In fact, let's go back to it. Teresa Snyder. There we go. Oh, sorry. There we go. Thank you, Gloria. And I want to say thank you to our production team. That's what keeps this show going. We want to recognize those on production today, Caroline Brown and Gloria Rand. Thank you very much. And Teresa is asking, how can I get involved? I think that that's a great question. Skip.
Well, and we have such a great panel to answer that question. I mean, for me personally, and with Kids Save USA, that is going to be a TV show. It will be a website, Kids Save USA. I'm working with the Brunson brothers and many things. But part of this is inspiring our stories, our legacy that will live in the lives and hearts of these kids to help them to inspire generations to come. So with your story, with your background, for everybody, people here on the panel, people watching, I'd just ask, what does that story have to do with what you can do, you know, today, with what you have, with where you are, to inspire, you know, anyone, young generations? And when we talk about kids, one of the comments or one of the statements is this is a contest that we're launching, and it's kids from 1 to 101. It's the kid inside of each of us, you know, because we've been so ingrained, indoctrinated, whatever. But if we reach into that spirit of creation together as a state, a community, I mean, a country, a world, then we can start to make a difference. Just like, you know, we were just hearing from Brian, was that, you know, what has become, we've got to shift that out of fear, anger, division into love, gratitude, unity for creating that destiny we want. And so I'd love to hear, because each of you have such an amazing story and background that have you right where you are to make a difference in what people can do. And I'd love to hear from each of you.
You know, and thank you for that too, Skip. And if you guys would like to be sharing this when we go forward, let's have you answer Skip, because we're going to give each one of you an opportunity to dive a little deeper into a few things. And I'd like to hear that answer throughout the show. And I'd like to hear from all of our panelists, because our digital audience, as you all know, are very important to us. And we'd like for you to be answering that question also. Teresa, to answer you too, is we'll talk. I got some ideas. We'll talk because Skip kind of let a little secret out of the bag. And so we'll go from there. Yeah. So with that, okay, we're going to go on though. We're going to go on in video because I want to cover a few more things. And then as you guys talk, remember to answer the question. We're going to hear something from Joy. You guys get ready. I told you also have your tissue ready.
Happy Independence Day. Yeah, I know. I'm actually a Canadian citizen, and I've been a permanent resident alien here for decades. But I have a secret that I want to let you know about. All right, so guys, here goes. And I love my country, Canada. However, I have applied just last month to become an American citizen. Yay! And why now, after all these decades of living here? Because I really feel that this is a time right now that we need all of us to really put our love, our focus, our dedication, as well as live the principles that this country was founded on. And so I am looking forward to becoming an American citizen. So happy July 4th and happy Independence Day, everyone.
Congratulations. Woo.
Congratulations.
You know, so Joy, how does it feel right now to be amongst everyone in this amazing period of time after watching that show about our kids, our legacy, and you sharing this news with the world for the first time?
You know, watching that video, Skip, and watching the kids learning about the Constitution at Constitution Camp, I'm going, can I go too? Because I'm now having to, I didn't really get any of this when I relocated to the States, and then I was back in Canada and back here. I missed out on a lot of the American history. And so, you know, I am now relearning and learning about this and going through my test questions and having to put my focus on it and going, oh my gosh, you know, it's amazing. And I feel so honored. I mean, I have kids and grandkids here, and, you know, this is an obvious step. However, it just really, this is the time. And I think that it's not just the time for those people like myself who aren't citizens. It's the time for every single person living here in this country, hopefully legally, because I've been legal here my whole time I've lived here and fought to stay legal here. You know, there's a lot of steps when you do it. And so it's time to really stand up for this country. And when we have the children coming up too, and we all come together, again, not out of fear, but out of strength, out of courage, dignity. These are the principles that this country was founded upon. And should I share my story of living in the...
Yes, I was going to ask you about it because you, and guys, you're going to hear about this and really get ready for Google after the show, because I was like having a lot of fun with it because you were talking about what you're about to share. And you're saying you want to go to Constitution Camp, and, you know, and I have my little Constitution book. You know, I think that, you know, I always grew up always having one around the house, and yet you lived in a piece of history. Let's talk about that.
Yes, I did. I was, oh, okay, there it is. Uncle Sam's house. The original Uncle Sam, that was the figurehead for the United States. And this was the plaque outside of this home in Mason, New Hampshire. Gosh, there's no accidents, guys, right? And this was built, Samuel Wilson, who then became the figurehead for Uncle Sam, lived in this boyhood home, and he and his brother walked to Troy, New York, and were part of, there he is, and were part of the meat packing industry in Troy, New York. They used to stamp it with US, but he was called Uncle Sam. And so it was just, and up the street were it was full of history. I lived in New England for 17 years. That's the signing of the Declaration of Independence. And during that time I lived in Uncle Sam's boyhood home, this was, 4 decades ago, there was some talk about, and there were secret passages in this home, etc. There were talk about the person that came, the mysterious figure at the signing of the Declaration of Independence. And I think you all probably have heard that somebody came in there, and these guys were under duress. They were going to be either hanged or quartered, or, they were making that decision to put their signatures on the Declaration of Independence. And a mysterious figure came in and said, sign that document. And there was a whole speech that he did say. I'm not going to read it to you, but it's very moving. Google it. And then at some point, there was something I was reading way back when they said that it was somebody that came in the guise of Uncle Sam. There are no accidents. And the history of this nation is absolutely incredible. And it was amazing to live in that whole area where the founding fathers were, and the Revolutionary War and all of that for freedom, the fight for freedom began, especially to a Canadian like me.
I'd like to bring in Daniel right now. Daniel, you've served our nation, and thank you for your service.
You're welcome.
You are continuing to serve our nation, and as you transition into being, back into the quote unquote civilian life, and you do in more than one way, because you do in as a reservist, but also with the show and all your programs that you're working with right now. Yeah. And as you're, I want you to answer Teresa's question, because we're going to be doing that. Yeah, what would you like to share right now in regards to your insight, and share even with Joy if you'd like, because I kind of was feeling your energy as she's talking about this story of the house and the Declaration of Independence and the signing of it. I'd love to hear a little bit more of your thoughts right now.
Yeah, I've been reflecting on it. So my RBF face is rested blessed face. So if people are watching my face, that's what I'm doing. But as I lived in Rhode Island and then served in the military for 24 years and now in Delaware, still of 13 colonies and everything else, is that it's really awestrucking for the first time as a American born citizen living in the colonies. I'm like, oh, I've been living in history this entire time and just haven't really encapsulated that. So I was really awestruck on that. And I would say that as we are the future historians of America, because we're making history right now, is that we just need to continually reflect on what those original forefathers have gone through, and then continue to go over and to breed that legacy. And like what the Colonel said, not to get into the extremism of things. We need to go over and get back to the roots of things, and with Learn and Live, and also War Hero to Superhero. Learn and Live is the company, and War Hero to Superhero is the show. Our goal is to transform those military veterans and first responders from the prayer room to the boardroom, getting back to those dreams and destinies, but rooted in our American values. Because the extremism doesn't last. The extremism is usually a minority group, and the extremism goes over and divides us. We're a united states, not a divided states. And when our forefathers came to this nation, even though they had different values, if you go and look at it, some of them are atheists, some of them are agnostic, some of them are Mormons, some of them are Christians, some of them are all different types, but they came to be unified on certain values. And we need to stay unified on those values, not unified on our divisions. We need to be unified on the values of what our great nation's brought. So I thank Joy for going over and having some time to reflect and to bring me back to these New England states, in a sense, because my mind has not been there for a long time.
Well, thank you for sharing that. And Colonel, you were just mentioned. I'd like for you to share what your thoughts are right now.
You know, going back again to the song, you know, I'm encouraged about the young kids that are speaking up. And, you know, Daniel was just talking about our founding fathers. It's a little bit of a misnomer. If you go back and look at the history, most of those founding fathers were under 30 years old, or certainly under 35 years old. And we now, unfortunately, have a government where most everybody has been there for so long, they've forgotten to solve how to solve problems. And they also keep calling the United States of America a democracy. We are not a democracy. We are a constitutional republic. And I think that we do ourselves a disservice every time we talk about the United States as a democracy, just like all the other democracies across the United States. So I'm encouraged that we have young people that are starting to really have a voice and want to be creative. And hopefully they come forward, not like what we've seen for the last 15 or 20 years, where we just continually want those problems to be there so there's something to talk about. But we actually empower people with the skills and the tools and the desire to take action to actually be problem solvers. And that's how we're going to take this country back. That's how we're going to make sure that the United States of America is the republic that, again, to use Daniel's words, our founding fathers had a vision for. But it's up to us to do something about that and to make sure that our republic stays strong and is the beacon of light across the world. And 23 years in the military, I traveled all around the world. And I will tell you, you know, anybody listening, if you're skeptical, there's no better country, no better group of people than what we have here in the United States. But let's all learn how to take action and stand up for what we believe in and fight for our republic.
I love that. Thank you. In fact, okay, so this is a great segue into a video that I have. That one of the things you mentioned, Skip, our storyteller, in your song is that children of all ages. And I pulled a clip from my childhood, something that I remembered. And I think sometimes these moments in TV, the legacy series here, we're encouraging legacy of those going forward. Yet when we look at legacy, it's also what was what inspired us, and the children of all ages. And it mentions republic in this clip. Let's watch.
I remember a teacher that I had. Now, I went through the 7th grade. I went to the 7th grade. I left home when I was 10 years old because I was hungry. And I used to, this is true. I work in the summer and I go to school in the winter. But I had this one teacher. He was the principal of the Harrison School in Vincennes, Indiana. To me, this was the greatest teacher, a real sage of my time, anyhow. He had such wisdom. And we were all reciting the Pledge of Allegiance one day. And he walked over, this little old teacher. Mr. Laswell was his name. Mr. Laswell. He says, he says, I've been listening to you boys and girls recite the Pledge of Allegiance all semester, and it seems as though it's becoming monotonous to you. If I may I recite it and try to explain to you the meaning of each word. I, me, an individual, a committee of one, pledge, dedicate all of my worldly goods to give without self-pity, allegiance, my love and my devotion to the flag, our standard, O glory, a symbol of freedom. Wherever she waves, there's respect, because your loyalty has given her a dignity that shouts freedom is everybody's job. United. That means that we have all come together. States, individual communities that have united into 48 great states, 48 individual communities with pride and dignity and purpose, all divided with imaginary boundaries, yet united to a common purpose, and that's love for country. And to the republic, a state in which sovereign power is invested in representatives chosen by the people to govern. And government is the people, and it's from the people to the leaders, not from the leaders to the people, for which it stands. One nation, meaning so blessed by God, indivisible, incapable of being divided, with liberty, which is freedom, the right of power to live one's own life without threats, fear, or some sort of retaliation, and justice, the principle or qualities of dealing fairly with others, for all, which means, boys and girls, it's as much your country as it is mine. And now, boys and girls, let me hear you recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Since I was a small boy, 2 states have been added to our country, and 2 words have been added to the Pledge of Allegiance: under God.
What'd you guys think? Now, Joy, how did that feel listening to that?
Yeah, I've been in the States a long time, and I've said the Pledge to Allegiance when I was in school, of course, as a teenager here. And I don't know if people know that in Canada, we were raised not saying the Pledge to the Allegiance, of course, but saying the Lord's Prayer. Every morning we said the Lord's Prayer. So it's this, I've seen this clip by Red Skelton before, and I heard it differently this time. I really did. I'm just taking everything in. So thank you for sharing that, Tamara.
You're welcome. Skip, as a storyteller, and you're because I was watching you as you're watching it and such. What did you think?
It's stories can be words or whatever, but when it comes from the heart and the soul, and it came from the legacy that these founding fathers and the people that fought. I mean, the first flag of the United States was this flag right here, an appeal to heaven. George Washington asked Betsy Ross to create that before they crossed the river, and knew that the odds were so, lopsided, that the only way they could achieve victory was an appeal to heaven, the divine. And that flag is now still a Navy flag, but it's an amazing story behind it. But when we were talking about Betsy Ross in 1776, I did a video for the state of Arkansas and Betsy Ross. I mean, we're talking kids. I mean, James Monroe he was 18 years old. John Marshall was 20. Nathan Hale, 21. Alexander Hamilton, 21. Betsy Ross was 24. John Marshall, 20. John Adams, 40, 41. Paul Revere. I mean, you look at these, they were young. Thomas Jefferson was 33. These were young, spirited people who really, they're ending what happened to them because they were considered traitors, and they stood up, and a lot of them, their future didn't end well for them, but they didn't care. They knew that the legacy they were going to live and leave is what we're living today.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for that. We're going to go into our next video right now that was given to us by Danny Rocco, the one that introduced us to our delightful Brian that's with us today, our retired colonel. Here we go.
Hi, I am Danielle Rocco, and what does freedom mean to me? I feel it has evolved over the years, depending on the season in my life. Probably 10, 15 years ago now, when my son joined the Marines, I was so thankful and felt so blessed that it was his choice. It was something that was put inside him that he felt he could give back to. So I guess to sum it all up, it might look a little different, or I might say it a little different, but that's it. We get to do what is in our hearts, not put upon us. And I am so thankful that there are people out there that will defend this great country, that will do what I could never do so that I can live the life that I have, and the life that I choose. So thank you. God bless America. From Texas to you.
Thank you, Danny. Okay, so we the people, and what it is that freedom means. And I love the fact that Danny shared what freedom means to her. I'd like to go around right now and ask each of you. And if you haven't answered Teresa's question yet, please do. So I'm going to start with you right now on this question, Daniel. What does freedom mean to you?
Freedom means to me is empowering people to their dreams and destiny that is infused in God, because that's what keeps us binded together. So, and that's what we do with War Hero to Superhero and Learn and Live, that we want to empower people's dreams and destiny. So we might not be for it. We might sometimes be against it, but especially as a soldier, we're supposed to go over and defend the rights of all of the American people. So the goal and heart of freedom is to give people their dreams and destiny and hope that they continue to empower the people. Because if everybody's thinking of the people and not of oneself, then we go over and truly have freedom. When we just think of oneself, then we only ourselves have freedom, but as a nation, we truly don't have freedom, because if we all serve oneself, it's just selfishness.
Thank you. Colonel?
Well, freedom to me is an ideal. It's something that we should live up to. We did have our founding fathers who put together a republic that was unlike anything in the world, so that, like Daniel just said, each and every one of us can live to our potential. We can have life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And we all need to be empowered with the tools to be able to do that. And that's what my mission is. We talk about legacy. I had a 23-year Air Force career that was all about mission and defending our country. I spent a few years trying to work for a defense contractor and realized, wow, that didn't work. And it was my beautiful wife, Heather, who recognized you've got to have a mission. And so that's what I'm doing now. It's going out and empowering families, empowering kids with the tools to be able to take action and to recognize and to want to learn about our republic, about how fantastic this country is, about what our founding fathers had envisioned for us. And then once they learn all of that, then to get active. And that's a big thing that's missing today. Most people, they're just living their lives. But in order for us to truly bring back the United States to the republic that the founding fathers wanted us to be, we have to take an active role. And that's kind of what's missing today. And that's what I'm really, really working towards right now.
And I love that. Thank you for that. Joy, what does it mean to you?
Freedom to me means that we get to be able to live our lives on all levels. We get to have health in our bodies, and we get to make decisions about our bodies and our well-being, that we have our hearts open, that we are able to think clearly and freely. And as a mind arts trainer, my passion has been, as Tamara knows, for decades, helping people to also let go of what's getting in the way of their freedom of thought and feelings, so they can be free in themselves and live a happy and healthy life.
Yes, you do. And yes, I can speak to that 100%. And Skip, what does freedom mean to you?
Freedom, if we go back to what, everybody was saying, these are inalienable rights that are given to us. They're not provided as permissions or whatever by a party or a government or a group. They are from divine, that they are allowing us to be unshackled, to be who we are. Now, we may not agree with everything, but that's our right to express what it is you want to believe and what you want to pursue, and be who you are, and be empowered by these inalienable rights and the fundamental foundations that make us a republic, not a democracy. A democracy is mob rule. It's two wolves and a sheep deciding what's for dinner. The sheep's going to lose. No, in a republic, we have rights, and these are God-given rights, and these are ones that we're holding. What was it Ben Franklin said? I've given you a republic if you can keep it. That's where we're at.
Yeah. We've asked this question to others, and in fact, we had a few other clips that were sent in to us. Let's see what they had to say.
Freedom is self-expression. Freedom is being. And freedom is light.
Hi, my name is Jack, and freedom means to me that we have the freedom of speech, so we can create whatever we want, watch whatever we want, and go whatever school we want.
Hi, my name is Brooke, and freedom means to me that people have the right to make their own decisions regarding how they want to live their life, how they raise their children, how they vote, and how they choose to spend their free time.
What does freedom mean to me? To me, freedom means to be able to learn from my mistakes. And if I didn't have that freedom, I would be stuck in old patterns.
What does freedom mean to me? It's about speaking your truth without fear of any repercussions. It's about independence and just being you. Be grateful, be confident, and be blessed. Happy Independence Day, everybody.
Okay, so we want to say thank you to all of those that have sent in video clips in regards to what freedom means to you. We've been seeing that also from our digital audience, and we want to encourage those that are with us live, and also those that will be with us in legacy, in replay. We want to hear from you. We want you to really be thinking about this question and write it down. Goes along with what we talked about last week too, the written word, how important that is. So with this, we're going on to the back end of the show. However, this is a party. And what we want to do, woohoo, that's right. Let's liven this up a bit, guys. What we want to do right now is I want you to think in terms of what is it that, yes, legacy is yesterday, today, yet what is it that in the energy of a party, in the energy of the hope, the best hope, what is it that you want to see going forward for our country, our children, and for yourselves? So why don't we start with, again, let's go with you, Daniel. Let's just go with the order that we went before. What would you say?
For me personally, it'd be 1 million people transformed to God and faith, 100,000 marriages restored, 10,000 veteran families coming back together, and then 1,000 veteran businesses up and lifted. That is at least our goal at Learn and Live. Because when we go over and help you learn, then you go over and live and you thrive. So if we can go over and do that, that is what our future legacy that we want to leave. So again, from the prayer room to the boardroom and no other way.
I absolutely love that, Colonel.
Yeah, so 1 million, that's pretty ambitious, but I'm going to top you on that, Daniel. We're looking to have 30 million families across the United States that are re-empowered with the ability and the skills, the 10 critical skills that they have to have so that they can start taking back the responsibility for the safety of themselves and their families. But then collectively, as we, the people, that's how we work together to keep our communities safe, our businesses safe, and our churches safe. People need to be prepared. That's the number one thing. But then they also have to have the tools. But then the third thing that they need to have is the empathy and the humility to want to help out our neighbors. And that's what our program is all about, is empowering those skills, which we've lost over the last 30 years. They're there. They're right underneath the surface. We just need to empower people with those skills, get them headed down the right road. And that's how we're going to, again, empower we, the people, to make sure that the Republic of the United States of America stays strong going into the future.
I love that. Joy?
Well, I'm going to tag off of what the Colonel just said also, as well as Daniel, that we do also need to know how to take care of ourselves individually in our communities in case of anything going on. We're in a wild, crazy world, unpredictable, as well as know how to monitor your emotions, know how to clear your mind. Mental illness is rampant, as well as knowing how to grow your own food, unplug yourselves and come together in community, whether it's through your schools, through your communities, churches, as well as just to know that we together, we the people, have these skill sets and mindset and soul set to really go through these times with great courage and enthusiasm. So let's get going.
I love it. I love it. Skip.
Well, as you heard, I mean, everybody's got their own journey. Everybody's got their own story, and we're here with what tools, experience, talents we've had given us to this point with what we can do with it. And looking at what you can do with that, and one president said, we're one generation away from losing this republic. And we're at that point where it's easy to do. So what can our story, don't be like somebody else's story, but what can you do right now? I came up with a phrase with a friend that said, don't pursue it, do it. And so, that we can talk and we can do and all, but there's something today in the next hour that we can do, the next day, the next month and year. So I just want to inspire everybody to find what that is. The answer is right there. It's right there waiting on you.
And Gloria, leave that. Gloria is the one that's putting, and thank you again, Gloria, for putting the comments up. And we, the people, can do anything. I love that attitude. Again, I'm going to say that. We, the people, can do anything. Let's bring more love into the world for starters. That goes right into the tour love. We're going to be talking about that here coming soon too, guys. We're not going to go too deep into that right now, but I love it. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Shameful and shameless. And yes, we are big believers in the tour of love, guys, because we are changing the frequency out there. Power of love. And we're doing it collectively. Yes. Another thing that I will say, because many of you guys have heard my stories at different times, and I don't go too deep into it sometimes, but I was raised to love this country, to love it. So when you said that, Gloria, you got me in the tears. Yes, I say have the tissues close, and yes, I've got them going on right now, because you know what? I am proud to be an American. I'm proud that I was born here. I want to also say I'm proud to be of a global family too, because we have many of you throughout the world that tune in and watch us, because we are changing the world with our hearts. Yet there's nothing wrong with us having that pride in the land where we were born. We absolutely can do that. And we have Joy, that was born in Canada, becoming a United States citizen. So exciting about that. I want to share one more clip, and it is just absolutely about the love of the United States of America. So as we start to round about our party, I want to say thank you everyone for joining us, and I hope you've had an amazing time with us. A fabulous is what we like to say. Fabulous time with us. And as we go around one more time to have each of you leave a pearl of wisdom, a thought that you would like people to be thinking about, pondering, possibly being touched in their soul and heart. What would you like to leave everyone with? Let's go with Daniel.
I would go over and say to truly go over and embrace freedom is to understand love. And love is joy, peace, patience, kindness, gentleness, faithfulness, goodness, and self-control, as it talks about in Galatians 5:22. When we have that, and our prayer room is in sync, and have that freedom from the prayer room, we can then imbue that in the living room, the bedroom, living room, and boardroom. And that brings true freedom. And that's where we can become back that republic we were talking about.
I love that. Colonel?
Daniel, that was awesome. I'm going to build off of that. Freedom is not free. And in order for we, the people, to make sure that our republic is as strong as we want it to be and is what our founding fathers meant it to be, everyone listening, we have to be empowered to take action. We have to become we, the people. We have to let those elected officials know that we truly are the ones that are in charge, and they are supposed to work for us. It's a total change in mindset over what's been happening in the last 20 to 25 years, but we can do it. We can empower every single American to realize that they have a voice, and it just takes that little bit of work and for everyone to realize to defend the freedom of our country doesn't mean that you put a uniform on and you're ready to fight our enemies. It also means that you have to be willing to stand up for what our republic was founded on. And that's what I look forward to. And I look forward to Americans stepping up, standing up, and having a voice about what our republic is supposed to be, and to be proud of the United States of America.
Absolutely. Thank you. Joy?
Well, gosh, freedom isn't free, is it? And there are so many people here that have created this country to be the way it is, who have come over from countries. My grandparents and grandparents came over on the boats to Ellis Island, to Canada. And all of us need to also have compassion for each other in our hearts, because we are all just walking each other home together. And so remember to keep that as we go forward, whatever's going on in this beautiful country of ours. Have courage, take heart, and also have that compassion, love, and empathy for each other. Lend a hand where you can in your communities, wherever you are.
I love that. Lend a hand where you can. Skip.
We're hearing that the beautiful terms of courage, love, compassion, joy, and that so much of that is, what we're going back to the founding principles, and that the world is looking to us, that love, but came from love of freedom, love of country, and people that were willing to die with it. A lot of young people. And not to be pulled into fear, which was what my career was in advertising, was how to get people to respond to fear, or we see that, or anger or division. It's now coming back together for all of us as to creating this destiny with the legacy we want to leave, because it is we the people, not just of America, it's we the people of the world. And as they say, if America goes down, the world goes down. So we have a huge responsibility.
Yeah, thank you. I want to say thank you to our panelists today. And I want to say thank you, most of all, to all of you for joining us, commenting, sharing your hearts and your minds, and the love of freedom. Because freedom, when it rings, and when we ring it loud, we the people of the United States, we the people of the Republic, and we the people as a global family have the opportunity to have the legacy for our children to have the very best. And isn't that what we want? Don't we want that? We want them to live in the land of freedom. So with that, thank you for being with us today, as always, and we welcome you back next week, because we will have another guest or another host that will be talking about fun. Yes, fun. So be ready to have some fun. Here we go. See you then. Bye, everyone. I want to say thank you for joining us today and welcome you back next Sunday as we once again are joined by a panel of subject matter experts that will explore and focus in on our fabulous lives. Until next Sunday.